Welcome to the screencast for solving two-step equations again. In this screencast, you should be able to solve two-step equations by using inverse operations. I'm also using two different examples. Before we solve equations, we need to do some brainstorming on how to solve the equations. You should be asking yourself, what is the variable? What operation is being performed on the variable? Although, with multi-step equations, a better question is what operations are being performed on the variable? And lastly, what are the inverse operations? As we look at our first example, we see that the variable is v. What operations are being performed on the variable? According to the order of operations, multiplication comes before addition. So, we are multiplying by 6, and then we are adding 6. As we consider the inverse operation, we're going to perform these inverses in the reverse order. So, let's look at add 6. That inverse is subtract 6. And then multiply 6. To undo that, we're going to divide 6. And that is how we're going to solve the equation. First subtract 6, then divide by 6. So, let's subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. As you simplify, you'll get negative 20 equals 6v. Our next step is to divide by 6. Divide by 6 on both sides. And we get negative 20 equals x. If you prefer to have your variable on the left, we would write our answer as x equals negative 20. Let's take a look at the next example. What is our variable? M. What operations are being performed on the variable according to the order of operations? Well, we have an addition and we have a division. Normally we would say divide first. However, the numerator is considered a group, or it's considered to be in parentheses. So actually, the adding negative 1 is happening first, and the divide by 10 is happening second. To consider the inverse operation, our first step is to undo divide by 10, or we'll multiply by 10. The next thing we're going to do is subtract negative 1. Sometimes subtracting a negative can be difficult, so we can always add 1, and that's what I would recommend. So this last step tells us how we're going to solve the equation. First, we multiply by 10, and then we add 1. So, multiply by 10. We're going to multiply by 10 on both sides. Simplify. 10 equals negative 1 plus m. Our next step is to add 1. We'll add 1 to both sides, and we get 11 equals m. Again, if you prefer for your variable to be on the left, you can rewrite m equals 11. So, those were two additional examples demonstrating how you can solve two-step equations by using inverse operations. Have fun!